Welcome back. As you noticed from the title, we're going to be covering another one of those ever so delightful BBC Three videos on things not to say to and then a group. This time black men, or as I put in the title, the well-hung. Take it away, the well-hung people.
Have you got a big dick?
You really have to admire that this is quite a common stereotype. But you have to admire the BBC for putting it in there as things not to say, but not giving any context for when it may come up. Because I think that's important, and it's something the BBC don't really get. And that is that context is very important for why people say certain things, or when they're going to say it.
Oh, quickly.
Oh man. Do you have a big dick?
Just remember guys, there are some girls out there that truly believe it's not the size but it's how you use it that truly matters. They're normally the ones that have yet to taste your chocolatey goodness.
Are you hung? They will just message, no hello, are you hung? How big's your cock? Can I suck your dick?
What kind of people are you giving your number out to that people would simply text you just that? You've offered context, and all it tells me is either you give your number out to everyone willy-nilly hoping for somebody to come and suck your cock, or you have some incredibly horny friends.
It's a stereotype that helps. I'm gonna be honest.
Every little helps, eh?
But I think the reality for a lot of men when it comes down to it, it's a lot of pressure.
Or does someone have performance issues? As with all BBC Three videos on the subject of things not to say to people, we've already covered now 2 things that they think we shouldn't say to black men, but quite frankly I don't understand how these are things we shouldn't say. Bear in mind, I'm taking the stance of context is always important, and you are offering none. Asking if someone has a big dick, I'm sure if there's context for it, it's going to be there. And again with weed, in certain social circles, I'm sure there's context for it. But as you offer none and get the most bland audience to participate, you make it very difficult for me to understand what on earth it is you're trying to achieve. Other than to shame, maybe? No. You just make these guys look like idiots.
Have you got any weed?
Do you though? And if you do, does it go well in brownies?
Oh, I get asked this all the time.
So, I get asked by people on the street if I have money all the time. It doesn't frustrate me so much that I don't want people to say it to me because of the colour of my skin, and yes, I'm well aware that while I'm complaining about homeless people asking me for money because they want to go to the pub while they claim it's to make a phone call to their mother, it's not, it's to go to the pub. I know that there is a racial stereotype with certain black men because in certain heavily dominated black communities, there is a clear and obvious drug problem.
You think I have weed because I'm black, but no I don't.
Do you only get asked this by white people? That is what I really want to know. Because the way it is coming across is that only white people seem to do this and they should be ashamed of that.
I get it a lot actually, I think because of the hair.
Ah, finally someone hits on one of the more common stereotypes, the reggae.
It's very offensive, you know, because it's like instantly, it's not just a general question you're being asked, it's like, just because you're black, you have to be involved in criminal activity.
And it's equally offensive that just because someone's white, they must immediately be involved in being racist, or asking stupid generalized blanket questions solely at black people. That is what is happening here. It is portraying white people as racist. Congratulations BBC, I see you're still using my money wisely.
Black people are just seen to be thugs, they're seen to have weed, they're seen to do drugs.
Well, crime statistics never lie. Okay, I've chosen the right outfit for this. How is something related to law enforcement something you shouldn't say to a black person when it is in fact a procedure? Are we going to wipe that from the system so that no one can be randomly stopped and searched? Now, if you're going to argue from the position of racial profiling, you have a point, a leg to stand on in fact. But if you want to take something away because, oh, more black people get checked and that's not right, that's racist, prove it. Prove it first, and then we can talk about it.
Oh my god, this happened to me in parking.
Okay, how did it you?
I've had this.
Hey. Yeah, same.
Have you been stopped and searched?
Yes, me!
Damn it, you!
What's the one that always gets said? You fit the description of someone we're looking for.
Interesting fact, I too have been randomly stop searched. As you can clearly see, I'm not a black man, so it's clearly not something exclusive to black people, merely something some black people like to bitch about because they think they're being marginalized or racially profiled.
If a black male enters a space, even if it's the street,
You can feel the tension because it's like they automatically feel uncomfortable. Do you know what I'm saying? They might feel the need to grab their purse or pull their child in, and like, I don't understand why.
I wonder if these crime statistics have anything to do with why people feel so uncomfortable. Oh, and as a side, this particular chart should explain how black people, while feeling marginalized about being stop searched, is utter bollocks. I have absolutely no idea who Stormzy is. Insert pun about weather here.
Oh, I like Stormzy too.
It's like saying Stormzy is the like UK black representative for all
he's
of
a
you
certified
guys.
on all our playlists.
obviously Stormzy, I don't know who Stormzy is, but sometimes they'll say any rapper, I'm just like, don't know.
I thought the UK's black representative was that winner of that baking show. That woman, I can't remember her name, but, you know, she fits the bill, you know, racially, kind of.
I bet you wouldn't know that I listen to smooth jazz.
And I bet you wouldn't know that I don't give a fuck. Before we head into this little segment of things white people shouldn't say to black people because that's what it should be called, I have spliced this up into two particular parts with two different commentators that have been rotated between each other. I put them back side by side so that the full term that one guy says is heard for context and the same for the second. Just a heads up, spoiler alert in fact, the first guy will say something I agree with, the second I will not.
And he was like, oh, but it's like brother, innit? No, it's not to me. I think whether you're black or white, you shouldn't use it.
And I agree with this man. Let's ignore historical connotations and focus on the fact that one group uses it as a slur, and the same group that accepts it as a slur uses it between themselves to mean brethren, which to me is complete and utter nonsense.
I use it as a term of endearment.
And who do you use it to?
To my black friends. This word was created to dehumanize black people.
No, it was not. It was taken from the Latin translation, dickhead, and the fact you use it as a term of endearment when it is considered a racial slur shows that definitions mean nothing to you. You are an absolute genius. But I'm changing the word genius's meaning to dickhead. Okay, this one makes me chuckle because I've only ever heard this particular language style in Grand Theft Auto 4 with Little Jacob, who is quite frankly the greatest character in that entire game. No jokes, the driving was horrific, the shooting was terrible, and how on earth does someone walk around corners and lean?
Oh, blood, wagwan. That's my...
Hey! I left my glasses and be like, yo, my blood, my blood. Yo, what? I'm like, it's so funny. I'm so funny. I don't know you, but I'm funny.
If they don't know you and they're using that particular language style as a term of endearment for you, you should simply reply with, nigger, I've got better things to do with my life than listen to some uppity dipshit talk in a language that I'm not familiar with, and then proceed to walk and continue as if they hadn't even been a part of your life. Is it so hard, or do you feel like you really have to be here to moan about this? I've only ever heard one person say this, and I'm gonna play a small little clip of this ever so delightful lady.
Do you think you're a black person?
Yep.
Oh, I'd love to go to Africa.
To be fair, there is a growing population of white people there, and I hear some of the resorts are fantastic. Oh, and who doesn't want to hunt a rhino in its natural habitat?
Not every black person is from Africa. Black people is everywhere.
Barbados, Nigeria,
North America,
Jamaica, Ghana,
South America, a lot, like Brazil.
Trinidad, Sierra Leone,
Dominica.
Yes. If we're going to be super pedantic, we can say that black people have successfully managed to spread like the plague. I don't think anyone is questioning that black people are no longer exclusively from Africa, even if their origins are heavily tied in Africa. I don't understand how this isn't something you should say to a black person. In my entire life, I have yet to meet a single person who was black that hated fried chicken. Even rarer, I have not met somebody that was black and didn't eat meat because, and I quote, a friend of mine who does like fried chicken that is black, every time I've tried to go vegan, KFC just kept on calling. I've never heard this used, so I don't know what to say to it.
You're so urban.
You are black. It's like, you're urban. You know what I mean? There's all types of black men, so not every black man has to live up to what the society created as that urban behaviour.
It's like, as a black man, you're not allowed to address your issues. Like, how often do you feel that you can talk to someone or like talk to your family members? Like, you're kind of just taught to deal with whatever issues you're going through.
What a delightful way to end the video. Now I do want to pass on a small message to the BBC. Stop wasting my money. Stop wasting my money on shaming white people. Stop telling them what they should think or say. Yes, some will say things that are stupid, but those people will be suitably chastised for what they say. To the black people that think the word nigger is exclusive to black people for brethren, but means a racial slur if a white person says it, you're fucking idiots. And again to the BBC, stop wasting my money.
Time and money, I would have more tattoos.
Your boy's here.
I remember praying, it's not Cthulhu, but a Cthulhu tattoo is actually something I've thought about because I was going to have the zombie werewolf logo battling Cthulhu.
Yes, it's always money that ruins things for people, isn't it? But I have to say, Cthulhu would be a very cool tattoo. Exhibit A, I'm rather cool. Look at me, I'm amazing. Just to very quickly touch on the fighting between the zombie werewolf and Cthulhu. As interesting as that would be in a tattoo, I think everyone would like to know who'd win, and it's obvious who would win. I just hope you can live with that, bitch.